What's up, YouTube land? It's your boy Dave Got It Made, and here on my channel, we're gonna talk about some real shit. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit a like if you want to. You know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna jump right into it. All right, so this is my first video. I'm gonna just give y'all a backdrop of why I decided to do this, how I got started, what brought me to this point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, right? Born and raised. Grew up in a Christian home. My mom, she was that solid foundation to just, keep me grounded in church, in the word, and in prayer and stuff. So, I started reading the Bible at a young age. Started really taking the word seriously. Really started listening to pastors and different pastors, different teachers. I just was hungry for the truth, hungry for knowledge. They call it thirsty for righteousness. You know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so I was in that for a while, at least a good majority of my lifetime, which was like 25 years, you know. So I just turned 30 not too long ago. January 25th. Shout out to all my Aquariuses out there. Hey. But yeah, so I always felt like I had a message to the world. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like there was something in me, some God-given talent within me to share with those who need it. And, depending on different life circumstances or what people are going through, I just feel like it's really important to express, what's on our hearts and what's on our minds when it comes to, just spreading information, whether that be things pertaining to, finances, mental health, spirituality, philosophy, religion, just different topics, Whatever helps the community, whatever helps society, whatever helps the world globally, And I'm here to give a message to the world. That's why I'm on here. Yeah, so like I said, this is my first video, so this is like an introduction. Each day I'm gonna put out new videos each day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no breaks in this, because there's so much information, so many things that, I want to share with y'all. But yeah, so like I was saying, I've always been the type of person to just be so curious and and just hungry for truth, for knowledge, because it's a lot of fucked up shit going on in this world. People are dying every day. You got people going through bad health problems, all types of mental illnesses, anxiety, depression. I mean, y'all know, and y'all know that this life is not easy. You're born into this world, and it's like when you're a kid, you don't really have many concerns. You know what I'm saying? You just so focused on just that moment. Whatever you're doing, you might be playing with some toys, you might be playing with your friends. You know what I'm saying? You might even be in elementary school, kindergarten, first grade, where it's like you're not really focused on adult shit like bills and you know what I'm saying, budgeting and uh, taking care of the family and just being an adult. You're just so present in that moment. You're having so much fun just doing what you like to do. You know what I'm saying? You might be drawing, you might be coloring, you just might be doing some random some random fuck shit with your friends, like, just having a good time. You're not really stressing about that type of stuff. And it's like the older you get, the more responsible you have to be, the more responsibilities you have to take care of, the more things that come your way that you just have to like get a hold on. And it's like you start to develop this mentality of like, I have to do this, I have to do XYZ to attain this, and then I gotta do that, and then I gotta, and then your mind gets so filled up with like all of these extra things to the point where it's hard to like be present and just enjoy yourself, like just in the present. And I'm already going in. See, I'm just giving an introduction right now, but it's just so much on my heart that I gotta explain. But yeah, so that was me as a kid. Like when I remember when I was young, like I wasn't thinking about no bills. I didn't even know what bills were. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I just wanted to have fun. Like I just wanted to play. And, you know, it wasn't until I got older to the point where it just started dawning on me where it was like, okay, wait a minute, this is a lot. This is like too much. Cause now I got a phone bill, right? I got a car note I gotta pay. I gotta pay the rent, right? And it's like it started getting to the point where I was just like getting overwhelmed and getting stressed because I didn't grow up like in a wealthy family. Like like my parents, they had like, mediocre jobs, like middle class, just enough to just survive. We wasn't like poor, and my heart goes out to the people out there that like struggling like for real, you know what I'm saying? But like nah, like I had to earn everything that I worked for. Like I didn't get my first car until I was shoot like what, 26, 27. Like you know what I'm saying? And then based on like my chart, my astrological chart, I'm gonna get into that um later on in the future. I ain't gonna get into that right now, but just based on my chart, I started to realize like I've always had like a problem with finances, just managing money. And I know I'm not the only one. I know it's millions out there that just don't really know how to manage money. And they don't really teach you that in school. I mean, they do, but you may take like a class or two and then that'll be it, unless you want to like really like focus on that when you get to college or something like that. But all throughout grade school, like they didn't really teach me how to like be a grown up. They just, I was just learning a whole bunch of like math and shit, history, and that's another controversial topic. Just history alone, like what is history, right? His story, his story. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So like, I, yeah, I always wondered like, okay, I know it's more to life than just like bills and stuff, and so that's why, and all this stress and like these responsibilities and I started getting the feeling like I probably don't even belong here. Like I don't even belong in this world because if this was my world, like there wouldn't be all of these like different things that I would have to like pay for just to feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? This world is ruled by currency. Like you pretty much need, they say the best things in life are free, and I don't disagree with that. But it's just so many things in this world in order to just make a living, to be comfortable, to be to be fulfilled, at least on a physical on a physical level. It's like you gotta have money. You have to. Like you gotta have money to eat. You gotta have money to have a roof over your head. You gotta have money to get to here, to there. You gotta have money to have a phone, to call somebody. It's just, it's crazy. Like, so I wanted to figure out like what's the meaning behind all of this? Like why is this even a thing, you know? And so that's why like I was so into the word, because like my mom would tell me like you can find all your answers in the Bible, in the word of God, through prayer, through fellowship with the church, and I was like, it got to a point where I became like a firm believer in Jesus Christ and what he did and the price he paid for the sins of the world and everything. And I was like, I became like a sold out, blood bought Christian, like to the fullest. Like I'm talking about, I was reading the Bible hours on end every day, right? Just searching for the truth, just wanting to know, just know like the mystery of life and what it's all about. Because that's how I was raised. That's how I grew up. And it just so happens that I ended up, being born on the Western Hemisphere in North America. And so Christianity is like really prevalent over here. So yeah, like um I just I don't know. Like I thought I had dreams of like just preaching the gospel all over the world, like being an evangelist, like traveling and stuff like that, like just going from country to country, like speaking to like thousands of people at at major events and all of this stuff. And I even thought I was gonna like receive like the gift of healing, where I could just touch somebody and I could just heal them from whatever sickness that they was going through. Like I'm talking about like performing the miracles that Jesus did in the Bible. That's how I wanted to be. That's who I strive to be like. I wanted to be like Jesus, because you know, according to Christianity, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So, and they teach us to follow in his footsteps. So yeah, I was heavy into that. I'm talking about like all the way up until I started really getting into the word like middle school. Uh, you know what I'm saying? That was like early 2000s, like 2003, 2004, and I was heavy in it until like 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Where I just had like an epiphany, and things just started to like shift. Like it's crazy. Like things just started to shift for me, like mentally, spiritually, biologically, everything. Like I just did a whole 180. Um, because even though I was like into the word and all of that, and just really like heavy into like prayer and ministry and stuff like that, there was still always something in the back of my mind that was searching for something even beyond that, like just transcending all of that. And so I would like go on YouTube and like listen to videos from like people from other backgrounds outside of Christianity. Um, you know what I'm saying? And they would have different perspectives on what it means to live a fulfilled life. So I came across this one guy back in like 2016, 2017 ish, by the name of Ralph Smart. He got his channel on YouTube. You probably heard of him. He's on like he's going on 2 million subscribers right now. Back when I started watching him, he was like at 700, 800K. Now he's close to 2 million subscribers, and this was like I said, like 3 or 4 years ago. So anyway, this guy would talk about a lot of different stuff, and he would talk about like different forms of spirituality, different forms of meditation, uh, eating healthy, plant-based diet, all of that good stuff. And he made a lot of interesting points, and it was something I could I could like that really resonated with me, that I could, that I could really apply for myself, um, outside of Christianity, that I felt that I wasn't really getting from Christianity. So, one day I was just watching this video from him. I think he was talking about astral projection at the time. And to be honest, still to this day, I don't know much about astral projection, but I know it's real. But for some reason, he was like, if you really want to raise your vibration, if you really want to like increase um, your spirituality experience, um, just go out in nature. Like find a beach, find a forest, get out, get some sunshine, get some sunlight, and just be and and meditate. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should try that, because I always had this thing for nature, even as a kid. Like I remember just staring at the sky a lot. Um, just riding in the back seat of my parents' car, just looking at the trees. Because in Florida, it's a lot of trees. I'm in Chicago now. I just moved here like a few months ago. But yeah, I'm from Florida. Like Orlando, Orlando's cool and all, but it's a lot of trees, and flat too. But I was just so drawn to like nature, and then you got the beaches too. So like I would go to the beach a lot. But this specific time, I was watching this video. Like I'm like, you know what? I'm finna go to the beach this weekend, because for some reason that specific video, I probably won't even find it right now, because he makes so many videos I don't even remember the name of it. But for some reason that video, it sparked something within me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the beach this weekend, and I'm gonna really meditate. Because even at that time, I still felt like something was missing. Like I still felt like there was more to this life than just Christianity. I'm thinking to myself, like, they say God is infinite. He's indescribable. He's indescribable. He's all powerful. He's all knowing, right? So if we're talking about an infinite God, then I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, why is he limited to just one book? And so that's why I was like reading other books as well, like lost gospels, lost books of the Bible. Like just do your research. Just so much stuff that's been written that's not necessarily in the canon, the Holy Bible with the 66 books. So yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the beach, right? So I decided to go to the beach that Saturday. It was like the following day, because I remember watching that. I remember watching that video on a Friday, which is weird. But I decided to go to the beach the next day. Cocoa Beach. It's like an hour away from Orlando. Um, but yeah, so I decided to go to the beach, right? And on the way there, I'm feeling so hyped. Like I just know something's about to happen. Something big is about to happen, because I could just feel it in my soul, like deep down. So yeah, so I get to the beach, right? And it's just a typical sunny day in Orlando as usual. Like it's always hot in Orlando. You get a couple of days here, a couple of cold days here and there, but for the majority, like Florida is fucking hot. It's crazy. So yeah, typical day at Cocoa Beach. I go out there. Um, I just bring my phone. I bring my headphones. Like I just go out there. I grab a seat. You know, like somewhere like remote, like away from everybody, and I just start like just relaxing. Nothing major, nothing too crazy, right? I start listening to some jazz. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really listening to no rap or hip hop or anything like that for that time being. Like I'm really trying to like relax my mind and stuff, and like get centered. So I do that for about like hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. And yeah, in the midst of it, I could just feel my body being really relaxed. Like my mind is, calming down, and I'm not really like in my head too much, um, consumed by countless amount of thoughts just overtaking me, which happens a lot for me because I'm an Aquarius. Like I'm an air sign, so we in our heads a lot. We from we think about one thought to the next like it's crazy. So um, yeah, I finished that and I'm like, all right. I just feel like it was time to go. So I wrap it up and I'm driving back home and I'm feeling rejuvenated. I'm feeling vitalized. Nothing crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get like a huge like awakening, you know what I'm saying, until the next day, which I'm about to talk about in just a second. But, I'm on my way back and I'm like, okay, that felt good. Like I should, I'm gonna just try to make that a practice. You know what I'm saying? Just to see where it goes, right? And at this time, like I'm still heavy into Christianity and everything, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm still hype about the next day, going to church the next day. Cause I was, like I said, I was on a Saturday, so I got church the next day. I'm ready for the word. I'm ready to start off. Cause at this time, like I was a minister at the time, so I would lead the church in prayer, or I would give a sermon, stuff like that. I was like, I was basically like basically like a servant in the house of the Lord, pretty much. So, so yeah, like the next day I wake up, man, I'm ready for church. Like I'm so excited to, and that's how I usually was. I'd be so excited to just head to church, and you know, I was just anticipating, what God had in store for me, and listening to worship music on the way there. Um, but when I stepped foot in that door, something changed, man. This is the introduction, y'all. Like I'm about to really go in. This is my first video. Just yeah, I got y'all. I got y'all. I got y'all. But yeah, so I go in there, right? I'm like, something is off. Something something is really, I'm talking about church is going on as usual, right? But something felt off in my spirit. Like I didn't know what it was, right? And you know, pastors, doing his thing, and I'm there, and we're doing the worship. How, for people that go to church, they know how it is. You start off with prayer, you do a couple of worship songs, then you get into the word, then you do the benediction, then you close it off with prayer and all of that. So it was just a typical day at church, right? But the whole time I'm feeling in my spirit, I'm feeling so uncomfortable, and I don't know why, right? And the whole time I'm thinking like, I gotta get out of here, man. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel like I don't feel the same. I just don't feel the same. It was just a really uncomfortable feeling. And it's so crazy how like things could just be going on as usual, no matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? You could be at home, you could be at work, you could be at school. Things are just going on as usual, but something is. It's like your spirit is just tugging at you, like, bruh, like something. I don't know. And then that's when like you start really like searching. You start doing research, you start changing your diet, you start doing anything to just figure out what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all feel me. I know y'all feel me. But yeah, so one another thing, side note, right? Like around that time I just started learning about like 1111, like that specific time, or just seeing that number anywhere. They call it synchronicity, where it's like a sign from the universe. You know what I'm saying? That's letting you know that you're on the right path, or like your guardian angels or your ascended masters are like really by your side, and they're like sending you these signs to let you know that you're on the right track. I just started getting into that, right? But this was the day when I caught that shit myself. Like, cause y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you be at church and like you ready to go, so you start checking that time. Like, man, when are we getting up out of here, man? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I checked my watch. 11:11. I'm like, oh, damn. So this is what they was talking about. And for some reason, when I saw it that first time, like it hit me hard. Like it really hit me. Like, damn. Okay, what is God trying to tell me right now? You know what I'm saying? What is God trying to tell me? Like, so finally church is over, right? Man, usually when church is over, I stick around, I say what's up to everybody, you know what I'm saying? I I talk to a couple of people here and there, just to see how everybody's doing. And then I go. But this time, yo, as soon as church, bro, I slid, bro. I was out of there. Like I dipped so fast because I just couldn't take it, right? And in my head, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't even want to go back. Like, I had no, after that, I had no desire to even go back after that. It wasn't even that specific church. It was just church in general. Because I've been to a lot of churches and I know how they operate. But that feeling that I got, I had the sense of like, okay, what's going on in church these days is like not exactly what was like. If you really know the Bible, then you know that how they run church now is like not how they did it in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like people actually met, like they didn't people actually met at people's homes. Like it wasn't the or synagogues, I ain't gonna get into all that. But just know that modern day church is like not how it used to be. So so yeah, like that's when that's when everything started to change. Like my diet started to change just by that whole thing. Like going to the beach, whatever I did that day, I don't know exactly what it was. I mean, I had my feet firmly planted in the sand, so I was probably getting some downloads from the universe and didn't even realize it. But I started just in a couple of days. I started to want to eat better. Like I was working at the time. I don't get me wrong. I loved my job. Like I was a transporter for like juvenile kids, taking them to this program to get their life together. And I had a connection with the staff and everything. We was like a family, but at the same time, like in my soul, I knew there was something greater for me than that. And then it got to the point where I was even feeling uncomfortable at work. So you know how it goes. Like when you really on a spiritual path, nothing feels the same anymore. Like you start changing from the inside out. Your whole perspective on life changes. Like you, it's like you're in a whole nother world. So eventually I had to give my 2 weeks notice at my job. I started craving like a lot of like fruits and vegetables and stuff. I started cutting down on the meat. This was like a shift, man. It wasn't like it was a mental shift, but more so spiritual, more so physiological to the point where my body started craving healthier foods. It's crazy. Like my body started craving this, my not just my mind, but yeah, it's I started leveling up, and then I just couldn't do the church thing anymore, and then I just started like doing more research on you know just the whole rabbit hole of like philosophy, spirituality. I started reading a whole bunch of like different books, watching a whole bunch of different YouTube videos, and yeah, it just got me to where I am now. Uh, I can honestly say, like in between that, like also in between that phase of like just going through that whole transformation process, my creativity started to spike up too. Like I started getting into photography. Um, Like I ran into this one guy that I've known since elementary school, but we kind of we were cool, but we wasn't like cool. You know what I'm saying? But because people grow apart and everything. But it had been years since I like really like chopped it up with this guy, and he had his own clothing line. He started this thing like years before like we reconnected. But long story short, like he saw me on Instagram and he was like, "Yo, you in my area?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." And he was like, "Yo, pull up, man. Let's do a shoot or something." Because he had his camera and he was doing photography to promote his clothing line or whatever. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I'm like, let me support my guy, man. And I pull up on him. He give me a couple of things to try on, and I just do a couple of shoots for him, like I'm just modeling or whatever. And shoots came out real good. Shots came out real good, and he now it was like I wanted some of those pictures for myself as well, just to like help him promote or whatever. So he was the one with all the equipment. He had the camera, he had the laptop. So I'm waiting on him to send me the pictures. So now I'm on his time, right? And something clicked. I'm like, why don't I was digging the photos, and I always liked photography. I just never really like took it serious. So yeah, like I was like, you know what? Let me just why wait on him? Let me just. I mean, eventually he finally gave me the pictures. He sent me the pictures or whatever. But I'm like, why wait on him when I could just get my own camera and take my own pictures? Because I'm heavy into fashion too as well. So I eventually, saved up some money to get my own camera or whatever. Um, I'm at a new job. Like I said, I put in my 2 weeks notice at the last job. I'm at a new job now because I'm I'm an Aquarius. We like to move around. We like to keep things moving. We just like to experiment. So I'm at another job, right? I'm driving the buses for this college in Orlando, called UCF. It's like it's like the main university in Central Florida, University of Central Florida. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I finally came up with the money to get my camera, to get my laptop, and then I started doing my own pictures, and I'm like, this shit is a lot of fun. I started getting creative, and this goes back to like that time that I was talking about where just being a child again, like just being in the moment, just being creative and just that childlike nature of like doing what you love. You know what I'm saying? Like I really started getting into photography. I started editing, started learning how to edit and stuff, edit my pictures, and it was like it was a different feeling. And it gave me a different experience outside of Christianity that was beneficial for my soul. You know what I'm saying? And, people have different perspectives on this. Like I know you can be a Christian and you can be creative. You could be a Muslim, you could be creative. You could be a Buddhist, you could be creative. Anybody can be creative. But that was just something that was really like giving me um that was something that was really fulfilling my soul at the time. And then, I was doing that for like a year, and like a tragic event happened where my equipment got stolen, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Shit. And keep in mind, like I said, I ain't super rich, so I can't just get another camera and laptop just like that. You know what I'm saying? So and then I got bills on top of that. I was paying rent at the time, paying my car note, paying my phone bill, paying car insurance, all of that. So it's hard to just bounce back. You know what I'm saying? From all of that, and it got to a point where I started getting discouraged. Like, damn, man, like I was loving it so much, and then I took such a long break from it, from just from like recovering from like all of that, to the point where I'm like, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it to just get back into this thing? So like my Instagram account was like my photography business account was like it was pretty stale for a while. I mean, I'm talking about I had made business cards and stuff too when I was really in it. Man, I was on my way, but you know, life be throwing you curveballs sometimes. You know how it goes. So it got to a point where I just started losing the passion for it because I didn't have my equipment, and it's just a different feeling for me if I don't have the tools I need to do what I love. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, what is going on? Like, so it's like this path of like self-discovery, you know what I'm saying? Like you try this, it works out for a little bit, and then shit happens, and then you try the next thing, and you realize you don't really like that, and then you try something else, and that's like, you know. So that's kind of like what I was going through for a while, with the whole like Christianity photography thing. It's like I was like trying to find myself, like what is my mission? What is my purpose? But I always knew deep down inside that my voice was powerful. I always felt that way. And that's why I wanted to like travel the world and speak to different people. And it led me to this point. Like, I'm like, you know what? I spend hours on end watching YouTube videos, watching podcasts of people just share all types of information because I love information. I love learning new things and I love to talk about it. And it finally dawned on me, like, you know what? Let me just make a YouTube channel just right here, just on my phone. Like, it's a lot of people doing it, and they are good at it. So why not me? I know I could do this. I know I'm capable of doing the same, if not even more. So yeah, that's basically the introduction, y'all. I'm really about to dive deep after this. In the videos to come, like I'm gonna go in. Like I got some good stuff for y'all. Just stay tuned. So yeah, I'm living in the shot right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be here for a little minute. I like it here. It's snowing right now. We don't had a snowstorm for the past couple of days, so yeah, a lot of fucking snow outside. Keep in mind, I'm from Orlando. Like I was born and raised. I just moved up north, so this is my first time seeing snow and all of that. You know, it's like a brand new experience. I just turned 30. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot of new things are happening. Like I'm not even in my 20s no more. Like, and that's when I'm realizing like I really gotta like focus and buckle down and like really focus on my mission because I ain't getting no younger. You know what I'm saying? But I want to feel younger. Like, and I actually I do in certain ways because I know the importance of like I said, having that childlike nature and doing what you love. Because when you do what you love, you do feel young. I was getting that feeling when I was doing my photography. I'm getting that feeling right now, just speaking to y'all. You know, just sharing to y'all what's on my heart. So yeah, that's it, y'all. I love y'all. Peace. It's your boy Dave Got It Made. Um, and yeah, we just gonna keep moving and moving. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you for your support. Peace.